Hello everyone, this is class 10 history chapter 1 part 3. In part 2 we were discussing about the revolutionaries. They were forming the secret societies like Carbonary. Here in part 3 we will discuss the act of revolutionaries, their action, their reaction. Okay, now let's start part 3. The age of revolution 1830 to 1848. That means 1830 to 1848. This period in Europe is also called the age of revolution. And why this period, that means 1830 to 1848, is called age of revolution in Europe? Why? It is because many important revolution took place in Europe during this period. Okay, first of all, 1830 July Revolution in France took place. 1830 July Revolution in France took place. Now, what was the result of July Revolution? What was the aftermath or the effect of July Revolution? Bourbon king was overthrown and Louis Philippe was made constitutional monarch. That means after July Revolution, Bourbon king, which was absolute monarch, was overthrown and it was replaced by constitutional monarch. Constitutional monarch means monarch or the king will not have monopoly power, but king has to work under the constitution. Now let me give you some flashback or the recap of part 1 and part 2. In the year 1793, French Revolution took place, and in 1793, Bourbon dynasty, that means absolute monarch, was overthrown and democracy was set up. But after some years, Napoleon again took away the power from democracy and he became dictator. And again, Napoleon also was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. And in the year 1815, after signing the Treaty of Vienna by the conservatives, again Bourbon dynasty was restored to power. That means again absolute monarchy was established in France. And now let's come to the point. In the year 1830, that absolute monarch was again replaced by constitutional monarch in the year 1830 by July Revolution. And the effect of July Revolution we can also see in Belgium. Belgium broke away from United Kingdom of Netherlands, and it was also influenced by the July Revolution of France. Similarly, in 1832, Treaty of Constantinople was signed, and after signing the Treaty of Constantinople, Greece became an independent nation. Here, one marks question might arise. It is very important. After signing which treaty? After signing which treaty Greece became an independent nation? Answer will be after signing the Treaty of Constantinople in the year 1832. And similarly, in 1845, weavers in Silesia revolted against the contractors and they demanded more wages. And in 1848, monarchy was abolished in France and France became republic. That means in the year 1848, monarchy was totally abolished from France and France was declared republic. That means people of France started electing the government. Okay. Now 1830 to 1848, this period is also called period of hunger and hardship and revolt in Europe. We have already discussed that 1830 to 1848, this period is called age of revolution in Europe. And at the same time, 1830 to 1848. This period is also called the period of hunger and hardship in and revolt in Europe. Why 1830 to 48 also called the period of hunger and hardship? Because during this period economical crisis, economical problem we can see in whole Europe. Now let us say or discuss population increase and unemployment also increase. That means how and why economical crisis or economical hardship or the economical problem we see in Europe during this period, because population increase in Europe and at the same time unemployment also increased. That means people were becoming jobless. Secondly, small producers they faced stiff competition. That means small producers they faced very tough competition from the machine made goods of England and etc. That means small producers also they were facing economical crisis or the problem. Similarly, rise of food price and bad harvest cause pauperism. That means price of the food increase and at the same time there was bad harvest also. That means production in the agricultural field was not good, and due to this cause pauperism, it means extreme poverty. Okay, that means people faced economic crisis, country faced economic crisis. And in Paris people came on road because they were hungry and they started revolt against the government. Similarly, in Silesia, weavers revolted against contractors and demanded high wage. That means 1830 to 48, people of Europe, government of Europe, they faced economical crisis. Okay, that's why this period is also called the period of hunger and hardship and revolt. Now let me tell you, in Europe, the feeling of nationalism or the nation state or the transformation from monarchical form of government to democracy was not brought only by war and revolt. Let me tell you once again, in Europe, the feeling of nationalism, the nation state or transition from monarchy to democracy was not brought only by war and revolt, but the romanticism also played an important role to make the nation state or to reform or to change monarchical form of government to democracy in whole Europe. Now, what is romanticism? What is romanticism? Okay, romanticism is a cultural movement. Romanticism is a cultural movement to develop nationalist feeling. Cultural movement means movement through cultural song, cultural dance, poetry, story, and the etc. Okay, that means the movement through cultural dance, cultural song, language, poem, story, etc. to develop national feeling among the common people. This is called the romanticism. For example, if you are living in England, if you are living in England and if you find some people speaking Hindi language, there definitely you might feel some closeness or some emotional attachment with those people who are speaking Indian language, because you belong to India, right? In the same way, German philosopher Johann Gottfried in the same way, German philosopher Johann Gottfried popularized folk dance, folk poetry, folk song to create national feeling among German common people. Common people means das Volk. Das Volk equals to common people. Common people equals to das Volk. Don't confuse here. Okay, that means German philosopher also to create the feeling of oneness or to unite the German speaking people. He used folk dance, folk poetry, folk song, etc. Okay. Similarly, police leaders to create national feeling. Police leader to create national feeling used folk dance like Polonaise and Mazurka. That means police leader also to unite the Polish language speaking people or to fight for their independence. Polish leaders use folk dance, Polish folk dance like Polonaise and the Mazurka. Okay. Similarly, Polish priests use Polish language in church and religious instructions also. And Polish became symbol of struggle against Russian domination. That means Poland, it was under the domination of Russia. Poland, it was under the domination of Russia, and to unite the people of Poland or Polish speaking people to fight against Russian domination, Polish priests also, Polish leaders also, they use Polish language. Okay, they use Polish folk dance, they use Polish folk poetry and etc. Okay, now the last one, when France sneezes, Metternich once remarked, the rest of Europe catches cold. That means when France sneezes, Metternich once remarked, the rest of the Europe catches cold. Explain the sentence. Okay. That means revolution which spread or started from Europe against the monarchical form of government, it influenced whole Europe. That means from France, revolt against monarchy started and it spread or influenced whole Europe. The idea of liberty, justice, equality, and freedom or democracy spread from France and it spread and influenced whole Europe and whole world also. It means this only. Okay. Now this much for today. We will discuss more in the next part. Thank you.